At this time, I would love to go into our regularly scheduled town manager's report.
I think it's been a while since
I'm
I've been
thrilled.
this far ahead on the agenda.
I'm thrilled to have you do it.
Well, I'm also thrilled to report that the town's free cash was certified by the Department of Revenue on Friday. As the board knows, we were unable to get it certified ahead of the May 23 town meeting and then again ahead of the October 23rd special town meeting. I want to applaud our finance director, David Andrews, who spent the last several months really diving into the revenue side of things and getting that kind of cleared up. We've also used outside resources to help train staff on our treasurer's side to get them up to speed so that we can prevent this from happening again in the future. Free cash was certified at just shy of $2.6 million. Another notable item that came out of that is that our ambulance enterprise fund, they certified nearly $100,000 in retained earnings, which means that not only was the ambulance enterprise fund completely self-sufficient for fiscal 23, it also had a surplus, if you will, of $100,000, which is a positive term for the enterprise fund.
Fantastic.
I'm also happy to note that the town's public safety communications upgrade project was completed on time and on budget on April 9th. It was a massive project funded by nearly $700,000 in ARPA funds. It saw the conversion of our police communications to digital, the installation of new equipment at various points in town, which eliminated dead zones that made communication between our folks in the field and our dispatch difficult, and it also included radio upgrades for our fire department. Chief Howe first approached the board about this project about 5 years ago, and this board supported his formal request 2 years ago when ARPA funding became available. It was certainly a critical project that would have had a very serious impact on the budget had it not been for ARPA. So big kudos to our public safety chiefs for coordinating that project. I know Kat was involved as well in making sure that it got finished on time and on budget. The DPW home rule petition was approved by the Senate last Tuesday and sent to the governor's desk to be signed. I was originally hopeful that it would have been signed by Friday of last week, but I'm now in the any day camp, so expecting that it will get signed shortly. I'd like to congratulate Assistant Town Manager Kat Foster and Town Engineer Jake Zwicker for completing the ICMA High Performing Leadership Academy. It was a several months long course that focused on leadership development in the public sector, and both completed the program with very high scores. I'm happy to share that Tyngsborough was awarded an additional $22,149 in unexpected Chapter 90 funding through the Rural Roadway Funding Program, which was authorized by the legislature in 2023. The program awards additional funding, up to $25 million in total, to support roadway reconstruction in municipalities. All of the cities and towns in the Commonwealth are entitled to some level of funding, but they use a formula which considers your local road mileage, municipal populations, and the level of rural characteristics, I guess is the best way to say it. At the board's last meeting, I provided an update on the Town Center Footbridge project, which we had hit a temporary pause while we figured out how to move forward most appropriately. I'm happy to share that our town engineer, Jake Zwicker, has worked with the contractor T. Ford to come up with an alternative approach that will see the project delivered in time for the block party. We executed a change order for the project today, and I expect work there to resume in the next few weeks. For the next couple of weeks, they'll be working with their subcontractor to get the design correct for the abutments. While the bridge will be off of the sidewalk and installed in time for block party, it will not be ready for public use, and some of the finishing landscaping touches may not be completed. But our big goal was getting the bridge out of the way because that's prime real estate for the block party. We held a kickoff meeting last week with Socotech for the design of the new pre-engineered steel DPW building. Our engineering department is currently working on the site plan, and we expect to have preliminary designs for review by town staff and the sewer commission in the next few weeks. It's a little bit of a puzzle piece, this project, because we're waiting for certain components of the private development, i.e. the utilities. That work has started. I expect that we'll see work for that private portion, if you will, go out to bid at some point this month. That's, of course, being funded by a $2 million Mass Works grant. We'll see utilities be brought to the site, and most importantly, a new driveway. So until the driveway is kind of finalized, it's a little tough for us to completely confirm on the site where the building will be, but fortunately with these types of buildings, that won't slow down the actual design of the pre-engineered building. Last week, the media department launched episode 1 of Entering Tyngsborough, which is a short series of podcasts focused on bringing attention to the various things that are happening in town. The first episode focused on our planning department with a discussion about the town's attempts to comply with the MBTA Communities Act, and just before the meeting released episode 2, which features yours truly talking about the town's budget for the 4,000th time, so there's no excuse, and also Jackie talking about ways that you can get involved as a board member in Tyngsborough. On that note, thank you to everyone who has so far attended our budget office hours. We had very productive conversations at both meetings. They were exactly what we thought they would be, intimate conversations, so that people could really, in a very informal setting, learn more about the budget. We have one remaining tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Kat will be subbing in for me, so if you have questions, you can test her knowledge of the budget. But obviously, if you have questions and can't make it, you can reach our office for more information. I swear I'm wrapping up soon. Just a note about a couple upcoming events. Pre-town meeting will take place on April 30th, right here in the community room at 6 p.m. It's an informational meeting only where we will walk through each article and explain what they mean. There's no debate at these meetings and no votes are taken. The session will be broadcast live and recorded for viewing on demand. The Board of Health will host the Swing Into Spring Health Fair on Saturday, May 4th from 11 to 2 at the Old Town Hall. That same day, you can head over to the Hunter Norton property for the 5th annual Trail Day. And finally, a reminder that the May annual and special town meeting will take place on Tuesday, May 7th at 7 p.m. at the elementary school. A copy of the warrant is available at tyngsboroughma.gov under the town meeting page. There you can find the article language, explanations, the way that the FinCom and Select Board vote after tonight and after Wednesday night, as well as video explainers. And finally, I am sad to share the resignation of our town planner and economic development director, Eric Salerno. Eric joined Tyngsborough as our first full-time town planner and our very first economic development director back in 2018. Since then, Eric has coordinated substantial but well-coordinated growth here in Tyngsborough, including, of course, the Toll Brothers project, 2 large warehouse projects that are permitted and in the development stage, a $2 million Mass Works grant for public-private improvement at the Highway Department, and has played a critical role in shepherding along the 440 Middlesex Road project. Eric has been a tremendous resource for businesses of all sizes and professionalized our planning process. He's coordinated dozens of zoning amendment changes, including, of course, our efforts to comply with the MBTA Communities Act, which certainly has been no small feat. He's off to Bedford, just up the road, to serve as their economic development director, but will be with us until May 8th to make sure that all of the very important zoning articles are accurately portrayed to town meeting. That said, we'll be posting his position this week and would encourage, if you know anyone that might be interested, to reach out. That's all I've got.
Okay, before I open up to questions, Kat, you've got one, so why don't we,
Might as
while we get the
well.
momentum going.
Sounds good. The Sherburne Ave Open Space Parcel project is moving forward. The design of both the pavilion and phase 1 of the site amenities are in progress. Robert Hannon Architects out of Salem, New Hampshire is working on finalizing the design and construction documents for the pavilion, which we hope to release an invitation for bids for construction by the end of May. K&A is working on finalizing design for the recreation amenities as part of phase 1. The recreation director and myself plan to hold a meeting with the Sherburne Ave Open Space Committee in the coming weeks to provide a status update and answer any questions they may have.
Excellent, thank you. All right, now I can open it up to the board for questions or comments. Why don't we start with Select Person Schneider?
I have no questions, Mr. Chair.
No questions, just sorry to see Eric Salerno go. I worked with Eric on the master plan when he first started, which took 3 years, and he's done a fantastic job, and I wish him well.
Here, same for me. It's a bummer. But
Thank you.
Nothing additional. I'm also sad to see Eric go, but I wish him best in his next phase and his future endeavors.
Yeah, it is a bummer, but he's done a great job here, done a lot on zoning in my 3 years here. A lot of, I think our zoning bylaws and rules and a lot of things are in a lot better shape than they were, based on a lot of people, master plan, but Eric was critical in coordinating a lot of that, so his efforts are definitely appreciated. Sorry to see him go. I am definitely thrilled that we've got free cash certified. There was a lot of work that was done on that. I know that you were tasked with that on day one, and I'm glad that we're past that and even a little bit beyond that. We're in a much better position. I do also want to shout out to the Public Safety Communications. It's not only was it put in, my understanding is that it's clear, and a lot of the dead zones that we had, no longer exist. And so residents are much safer and are our first responders are able to do their jobs more effectively now. So a lot of work from a lot of people, as Chief Howard indicated, big team effort over a long time. So wanted to have a special shout out on those.